the jungle, and especially of the changes that goes against 1-3-1 compositions, very low priority onto the ban of Selena. Right now, you know, most bans are quite allocated for the side lanes here. Also want to remind you guys that Limbs here might, you know, bode well again because he can return to his Esmeralda. Esmeralda is not anymore permaban here for this week, and also very, very potent onto the side lane. Look at Execration here. A very nice ban on the Jawhead, which I think so far shown in the match between Bren and Omega is really doing well.
I think for the side of Execration here, they just banned out the Khalid. I think it's one of the dual lanes that can 100% sustain or just win the lane because of the innate wave clear and dueling capability with just sustaining himself.
And also the dive.
And the dive. For the side of Blue Fire here, you have Yu Zhong and the Farsa. I think they're sticking with their gut here, not giving out Execration their heroes.
Yeah, eto Max Farsa here, I think might be rewarding as well, especially on the roam side and especially on the aggression side. So totally understandable for the bans here of Blue Fire. Selena won't be banned really. We got the Hilda. I totally understand that ban as well. I find that Hilda really, especially on good players and especially on her fair share of presence and pick here at the MPL regular season, calls for a proper ban rate with the vision, and the pressure that she provides even early on, and which his team, or her team rather, can build to.
Okay, so Cho is the first pick here for the side of Execration, and you don't really expect like they would go for the big guns right now for Esmeralda because Chakno can play that, Benikute can play that, and it's a very flexible pick on their side.
Yeah, we get the Chango here onto the side of Blue Fire, eyeing that the Chango actually is such a good pick, especially for the mid lane, especially on the wave clear that she provides. Although we did see on that game number 1 by Bren and Omega that the Chango will be punished by very willing heroes and players to dive her and pressure her in her lane.
Blue Fire here going for the Chang'o, even if it didn't really show up that well on the previous series. Uranus, probably the first time that we're gonna see him in Project Next in a official game. So Execration here still going for the Yisun Shin, Kufra. They're not really staying away from their previous identity, and this is going to be an off-lane show.
Yeah. Yes, especially with the presence of the Kufra here. I know that would be nice. Although if I were Blue Fire, I would be choosing the Esmeralda. I find the Esmeralda a bit more dominating compared to the Cho. When it comes to side lane here, there's just a lot of control and wave clear for the Esmeralda, especially on the early game. But in terms of pickup, yeah, I would go for the Cho, especially on setup as well, because Esmeralda works more like of a follow through during clash. But does Blue Fire have plans of doing that?
This is, if you can see, I'll just notice it right now. If you can see, Execration is playing like together.
Yeah,
well, for Blue Fire,
Blue
Fire, they're not really doing that.
Yeah,
they're staying in their own houses.
Yeah, I think they're playing separated here, and that is for the side of Blue Fire. Maybe we leave that to you, of course, on the accounting for the news of Blue Fire here. But right now, there we go. We get the Alice banned by Blue Fire, ladies and gentlemen. Even with the back security here by them, they have nice durabilities in the lane, but I feel that these are not heroes designed. These are not heroes really designed to like get a nice job, and make the most of the available gold for the game right now, especially on this Project Next patch. And they're still eyeing the Thamps, or they're still eyeing their side lanes, really.
So, I kind of get the backshot. It's there to just control whatever sustained hero that Execration is going to go for next. But you know what? I think it's a pick that you could have set up for another time, like for the 4th and 5th pick. I don't think right now for Blue Fire it has a lot of priority into just securing that.
Yeah. Well, let us see, ladies and gentlemen. So far, not much onto the side So far, not much onto the side of uh, of the picture of our teams with regards to the Project Next patch. I kind of feel that this is kind of parallel and similar still to our uh, previous patch, ladies and gentlemen. So we'd have to account. We'd still have to account what will be the final pick here of Blue Fire. The best part about this though is that Blue Fire hasn't shown their 2 cores, hasn't shown their main carries probably, or what is this? Maybe a jungler as well. Yeah, I'm sure. No? I'm sure as well. Right. I think these are not natural retribution holders for the side of Blue Fire, but feel that the pick pacing here for Execution is getting better and better, especially with the bans. They are now removing natural counters here for their Yusun Shin. I kind of feel that the Yusun Shin will be enabled heavily here for Execution. Also want to mention that Kufra is onto the side of Chaknu. I can imagine a side lane dive here. I can totally imagine a side lane dive here where Chaknu will just be going so aggressive and Benny Cutie can easily follow through. Even Benny Cutie, I'm sorry, maybe not Benny Cutie, but Hate can follow through. Like on a lane where Benny Cutie is involved. I'd be expecting Benny Cutie to be playing maybe on a gold lane even, because we've known Benny Cutie to be a really good player who controls scaling hero. Like remember the Alice, right? Back then. So
look at this.
Look at that. We have a Benny Cutie hero. We have a Benny Cutie YSS. I think that's Hate Gushon.
Probably is. Well, it could be
there we go.
They are sticking with the certain 1-2-2 setup that we've seen time and again for these 2 teams. But you know what? It's a just face. Let us see what are they
there
willing
we
to
go.
pull off. They go for a Karina, and you know
Zas.
what? Zask and Karina.
There we go.
You know what, Shinbu?
I'm not saying it's a good pick. I'm just saying we
Okay.
have a very interesting pick here. The best part here is there is something we haven't seen before. Right? We have something here that we haven't seen before, and we have a new patch, and that's what we want, right?
It's their
If this
understanding.
works.
It's their understanding.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Shinbu, what I worry for the Blue Fire side most in terms of drafting here is they clearly have a lot of magic damage on their side. If ever the enemy, the side of Execration goes for Athena Shield, an Oracle, a lot of their damage are going to be negated.
Yeah, and the thing here as well is they're very dependent on the cooldowns of their abilities. If their purple buff gets removed against them, that is very, very punishing onto the side of the Blue Fire squad. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on our game number 2. This is once again the day 1 of the 6th week of the MPLPH regular season. A match between Execration versus Blue Fire. Execration the Blue Fire on the red. Let us go. Okay.
Onto the middle lane, you could see that there is still this certain understanding for the side of Blue Fire that they're gonna go for a 1-3-1.
Yeah.
Well, for the side of Execration, they put 2 heroes on both sides.
Yeah, they get 2-1-2 actually on the setup here of Execration. But almost forgot. I may want to wish and see the Siege minion here. Which lane is which? But feel I think the bottom lane is the bottom lane the gold lane here?
Turtle.
All right. So bottom lane is the gold lane.
Bottom lane is the gold lane.
Yeah,
XP lane will
XP lane
always
is the top
be
lane with the turtle side.
with
right?
the turtle side. And
Alright.
as we can see
Yeah, there we
here,
go.
that is our affirmation. That is going to be our XP lane just because
Yeah.
they have scrolls.
Now, this makes a lot of sense. Look at that. They have the Gusion actually went for the EXP lane so that the EXP, the level 4 would be accelerated on the Gusion. And look at here. You got Chaknu aiding towards Betty Cutie, punishing quickly that Uranus, and that allows for Betty Cutie getting chunks of gold from that shield protection. Guys, that's it. It's as easy as looking as this one. This is an early lead for the side of Execration.
So you get a support with good wave clear, poke potential onto the middle lane, and what you do after that is you put 2 heroes onto the side lanes. No matter how strong the side lanes are, that's only gonna mean that they're still gonna have a problem just because it's a 1v2.
It's a 1v2. And look at here. Hate already has his level 4 on. Very much willing to actually participate into the fights. Limbs also sits at level 4. But they know where the entry point of Limbs is. It does look like Execration is willing to actually force out Limbs with a dive. There goes Chaknu. He went in. There goes Hate. First skill, not gonna be connecting. There goes Fuzikan for the counter, ladies and gentlemen. But at least they were able to get back in that gold artillery. And yeah, still no kill down for the bottom lane. Only just one, and that would be a BenQ earlier against the U. Raidos 2! Boom!
And that is going to be the middle lane pressure that both of these teams can do. If you cannot see one person onto the lane, then that means you should be going back, and that is going to be another kill for the side of Execration. And it's a 2-1-2 understanding for the side of Execration.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, Shinbu, because we talked about this earlier, that a lot of the teams here have different understandings, and it just shows.
It just shows. Yeah, it just shows. The 2-1-2 setup here clearly accounts for 2 cores, 2 carry, right? You have the Gusion. You have the YSS as well, and it's paying good for them, especially on the YSS lane, ladies and gentlemen, because Blue Fire here seems to want to acknowledge where the gank will come from Hate. So that's why maybe they're being a bit light onto this side lane Uranus, and maybe that's why things are escalating all in favor of Execration's very cuties YSS. And this is not good because these are just the laning phase setup. At the moment that Execration tries to group up, they might have a better lead here.
You know what?
Because of their 2 cores.
Shin, now I'm thinking that probably an invade isn't really the best thing to do. But what you do when other teams go for the invade is you try to get the information where they are taking the buff.
Yeah.
Just get that information and just freely go through whatever it is that you have to go through in other lanes, just because you can't really do the invades that easy when there is damage reduction on the jungle.
Yeah, and look at Chakno here. He's even guessing where limbs might be. So there is really a lot of pressure from them. And all that needs to be done here for Benecutie is just to make sure that Secret will always farm under a turret. Look at the burst there, down for Chu. And that's it. Well, we did mention Chango is really good for maintaining your lane, but not so good when there is a potent assassin. And we get the Gusion. Hate working on that one. Now Chaknu here, not going to be diving towards Secret. It doesn't matter. The pressure is still on coming in from Execration. You got Maxia along with the Karina dancing around. But Etomax is always sure to provide vision.
You know what, Shinbu? Why are they always targeting Chang'e here? Why are they always going for Chu? Because right now, Chu has the Purify.
Yeah.
So that means in terms of mobility, doesn't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. In terms of other stat, for the Flicker at least, right?
You can displace or you can dodge the Sword Spike.
Yeah. There is, I think, some little movement speed on the Purify, but that is has way little mobility compared to the Flicker option. And of course, the team can capitalize on the idea that, all right, you have anti-crowd control, then let's go all in on the damage. Let's have a Gusion, right?
And they're keeping it simple, keeping it basic. Execration here, not really showing us that much, but Blue Fire, they are getting forced out. Sword Spike won't connect. That could have probably been a kill if the Sword Spike connected.
Yeah. But the problem here, Butters, is not really of just the gank, of just the pressure, but of the lead that Benecutie has. I'm very confident he has a very big gold lead here compared even to Unseen. Remember that Unseen has been dancing around on the EXP lane, so if you're looking into the levels, yeah, that's pretty intuitive. But in terms of gold here, you got 4.3 compared to the highest that is 3.1 of Blue Fire. So that's a lot of lead. A very early Blade of Despair here for Benecutie. Even with the physical, even with the attack speed dagger already onto him, second attack speed dagger. So look at that. He is really willing to duel. He's really willing to dish out those quick attacks just so he can get easy access on that executes of the Blade of Despair.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking that the Deadly Blade is a good alternative, as we've said.
Yeah.
But then again, it really sets you back.
It sets you back.
It sets you back.
Yeah.
But look at this for the side of Execration. Sagitno didn't really even think about going for that Deadly Blade. He went straight for the Legion Sword.
Yeah.
And he gets a kill.
Even against Uranus, actually, look at that. Even against Uranus, I think the lead is too much, especially the one established by Chaknu's dive, that you don't really need a Deadly Blade anymore. You just went for that raw, high damage. Just burst the Uranus down. I mean, if you get the execute mechanic, then why not, right? Even if you don't delay the shield, even if you don't reduce the shield, if you're just getting the execute down, then maybe that should be enough really, the idea here is just to accelerate your core. And that has been done here successfully by Execration. The acceleration goes at a lead of 7,000 in terms of gold and 10 in terms of kills.
You know what? I'm actually seeing Execration here being very creative, not only in setting themselves up in the lane, but look at their emblems here. Even Benny Cutie using a marksman emblem. To be honest, we haven't seen a marksman emblem ever since
yeah.
the start of MPL Season 5.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the open or the open qualifiers
That
or the
is
close
Electroflash,
qualifiers.
right? Is that Electroflash?
Not
The marksman of Benny Cutie? Or I think it's the Electroflash marksman emblem here. Well, nonetheless,
that is the Electroflash.
Yeah, so we got here the mounting chart. It's been a long time since
Yeah,
we see the marksman emblem actually.
we haven't
we see
really
always
seen this.
killing spree.
We
right?
always see killing spree.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Sometimes always there's a high end right, especially when there's a hero like Cho or the others. The offlane is there, but you don't really see the marksman anymore. The marksman emblem, as other coaches have said, it's really outdated.
Yeah,
but
I kind of like the Electroflash actually for the early game. You know why?
Why?
First, you are targeting Uranus, the Immoba. Quite, you know, if you get Electroflash, you can actually get the Uranus to that. Yeah, Uranus might be durable, but the biggest impact of killing spree kicks in on the late game when you kill. So right now, there's an early emphasis. There is an emphasis for the patch that you would want to focus on the early game because there's just a lot of gold. There's just a lot of experience in the early game. So maybe that's why Electroflash is because you get a lot of hit.
Yeah.
If you land those hits, especially on the shield, I think that's very rewarding. I'm sorry, I would admit that to recall the Electroflash provides provides movement speed or is there attack speed?
It provides 40% movement speed, and it restores and
So
HP is restored by 30% of the hero's physical
So
attack.
there you go. So what happens there is that you have a nice laning. You have a very nice laning emblem there, right?
Yeah.
Because you have HP restoration, right?
Yeah, I do agree. Like, clearly just seeing how you put the Electroflash into play.
Yeah. And plus the attack speed of the marksman emblem works really
yeah.
well, you know, if you want to target those shield.
And the thing about it is, Shinbu, usually for other teams, like, you would really just try to go for a killing spree. But then again, if the Yi Sun Shin is put in a very bad spot early on, if he gets that Electroflash proc going onto his side, he can regen his HP. And that could mean that 40% increase in terms of movement speed could mean life and death for the Yi Sun Shin. Because as we've said, Yi Sun Shin is one of those heroes that don't really go straight for that flicker. He wants to go for the retribution, probably not the purify because that's a built-in mechanic and one of his skills. But you know, flicker is the second best spell for Yi Sun Shin. But right now with that Electro Flash, you have the extra movement speed, you have the extra regeneration. I think it's a way to, you know, just say that my Yi Sun Shin can actually live in dire situations.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, right now what is being shown here is a very, very dominating performance there by Execration, and I love it. Not dominating performance really. It's about the 2-core setup, you know, because even though I'm not so sure if this goes really solid with the meta. Again, I firmly believe on this. I think it's really too early to say something final with the project next patch. I think it's always best to really just have a nice amount of sample games, number of games, especially in competitive, to see what works. And but I love the experiment. I love the change of, you know, you don't see this, you know, Gushon YSS on the same comp. We would easily dismiss it as a losing comp.
Yeah.
We would if before the project next patch, you could easily dismiss it.
But this is next.
As a losing comp. But this is next. Welcome to the next, boys.
Welcome to Project Next.
Welcome to Project
That is true.
Next.
Shin, some of these, I do agree, some of these would be a very bad draft if it was in the previous meta.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really make sense. It wouldn't stick together just because the components are jumbled up just by damage, getting a good lane, and just if you think about it, you wouldn't really give the purple buff to Gushon, so that means Gushon will be gimped or limited in terms of what he can do.
Yeah, yeah.
But with this, they can actually think about it. Who gets the priority on the purple buff first? They can actually say, okay, hey, you go get the purple buff first, then get the orange buff, then you just go wild.
Actually, Butters, before I believe on the 1-3-1 setup, which I witnessed on one of our partner tournaments, which is the Realme Mobile Legends Cup, of course, by one of our official sponsors. I did so the 1-3-1 setup there by Team Payaman, and it was further confirmed by Honda Beast Gaming, also one of the best minds here for Mobile Legends in their country. Now, the thing here is that before that, I actually believe that you could actually set up 2 cores. But the first thing I thought when I saw the Project Next patch is you can actually set up 2 cores in the form of having a jungle core and having a gold lane core. And I think this is what Execration is doing right now. I mean, this is clearly what what you can see on Execration side right now. That Gusion is a core. That Benny Cutie there, the YSS is totally a core. Maybe it's time for us, Zen Esports, for me and Manjin to finally settle and agree that we can be both
you guys can both be cores. But you know what? It is a possibility.
We might have a nice strategy with that kind of approach.
Yes.
Huh?
And if you guys don't know Sen Esports is our caster team. Us 5 shoutcasters in the MPL plus Rob Luna, one of the shoutcasters here. The sixth man shoutcaster is actually part of the team. So clearly,
it's the overqualified team.
It's the overqualified team just because we can't really join because before we can join, we were already disqualified.
Yes.
And I get the fact that there is a huge emphasis into highlighting or knowing how to utilize those lanes. And I love the things that come out from these teams. Some think of it as a 1-3-1. Execration, think of it as a 2-1-2. And they're both not wrong.
No.
There is nothing wrong into understanding your pace in the game or your own set draft or set designations in terms of laning in the game. It's more on the idea that we try to face those ideas against each other, and whoever wins it by the end of the day, I think that's the better.
That's it.
Strategy.
It's simple as that, right?
Yeah, it's
it's simple as that. Really, we need to see a lot of games.
Sample size.
We need a very good sample size here for the Project Next patch, and I think things will normalize. I honestly think things will normalize by the playoffs.
Yeah, and I like
not on the other weeks. Not on the other weeks.
You know what?
Yeah.
There's this idea that came to my mind. Why does Etomax stay into the middle lane? I just feel that a mobile support that can stun or lock someone into place. If Etomax has the freedom to go out of the lane and just surprise people, then 3 people in one lane could take out that one person in the lane.
Of course. I find Etomax is a very explosive player, honestly. On his preference on the Forza, he even goes as far as playing Leomord sometimes, even, right? But,
I'm actually scared of the capability of a Selena in this setup. At to want to set up, you put the Selena on mid.
Yeah, honestly. I have very personal bias towards the Selena, but I really think it is totally doable.
Yeah, if you think about it, Shin, you don't have to leave your lane that much.
Yeah.
You can just throw out
arrows
throw out
on that
the
lane.
arrow.
And there's
the
a lot of pressure within that lane. Yeah.
Maximum range. Throw it in maximum range.
And you could just have your traps onto the sides.
Yeah.
So, you'd have one lane that has a lot of strength in front and has a lot of guard onto the side, right? Has a lot of guard onto the side. And, that's one possibility. That's one key strength here. Now, the keyword is lane. Because lane, guys, has a lot of value right now. Although it's actually weird because we're accounting for the mid lane here, which I think we're yet to decide which lane has the most value. Honestly, I think it depends on tactic. Because even though, yes, there is a gold lane, even though, yes, there is an experienced lane, guys, mid lane is the shortest lane. That's the
Mid lane.
inherent advantage of the mid lane. And I still believe before the project next patch, we all kind of agree that the most important lane early on is the mid lane still.
Mhm.
If you remove the outer mid lane turret, that is a very, very big lead. Even after project next patch, I still believe it is still the same. I still believe that in terms of
Of
pressure,
course.
it is very punishing if you lose that mid lane outer turret
Mhm.
before your side lanes.
And you clearly see it in terms of the understanding of execution. They do not invade. They do not want to invade in any way. What they do, Shin, is they really just try to get the things done in terms of getting the idea where the other team is. Because here, for the side of Blue Fire, they picked up Karina. And Karina is said to be one of the suitable heroes for that jungle lane, for that jungle role. And I like how Blue Fire is dealing with this as well. But they can't really go head to head with the side of execution right now, because the thing is, in terms of execution side, economy is balanced, XP is balanced. It gets spread out through the other sides.
Yeah.
Etomax gets a bit of priority just because he has a solo lane, and that's how it works usually.
Yeah.
So if Blue Fire can't stop the bleeding and cannot, turn things around on that Kagura onto the middle lane while she's alone, I don't think that they can actually catch up on this one anymore.
Well, let us see, ladies and gentlemen. We got here our return for the game. 8-minute mark. 12-0 on top of that 9,000 gold lead for the side of Execration. We're still yet to see the Lord as the 60-minute timer, 60-second timer is still there. Rather, they are just setting up, kill brushes here. And maybe I think I can actually predict how the dive will be done here, how the fights will happen here. And yeah, that is of Chaknu jumping, obviously.
And Chaknu just saying that this is my house. You
Yeah.
cannot extend. You cannot go here. Go back to your base. You are not allowed to go out. You are grounded.
Yeah, that's it. You just follow up with a mounting shocker after the dive of Chaknu here.
It's
And
really safe.
yeah, very, very safe. Very, very methodical. And again, you just need to have the waves in. There is enough wave clear onto the side of Blue Fire. But still, there's the dive of Chaknu. I can see it. There
Go!
we go. There we go. There's the dive. There is the ultimate. There is the follow-up. There is going to be very cutie getting the kill onto the back shot. And also Sagitnu following through. 2-4-0. Maybe take the 3 as they get the kill onto Limbs on the Karina. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. On the mid, it is going to be Gunna. And yeah, no amount of wave clear will stop Execration on finishing this one. There's another jump onto Chaknu, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Edomax here. He wants to finish the game. Focusing actually onto the main base for that part. But yeah, just like that. One setup on Chaknu. Few seconds away, we got 2 inhibitors lost.
And this is a good performance coming out from Execration. They're pushing their limits. They know that at this point in the game, Blue Fire can't really do anything. Because in terms of damage output, they focused on magic a bit. Not a bit, but they really did focus on magic. So for the tanks here, as long as they itemize well, or the supports they itemize well, they could not go down. They don't have a chance of going down here.
Indeed. And I'm not sure. Did I just saw Chu use his ultimate without his second? But maybe just my eyes. Let us see here. Chaknu gonna go for the dive here. A catch onto Unseen. Ultimate, of course. Unseen is actually one side laner here. It would be very rewarding to target him. You got no Zaz. That's one big reduction onto your wave clear. That's gonna be it. It's just a countdown timer before this game closes in with the Lord already pushing in mid. And no minion wave up top. Doesn't matter. There is gonna be Chaknu. He will be casting it. I really doubt he will cancel this. He will go for the dive, and that's gonna be on towards Chu. And they go for the base. Ladies and gentlemen, this game number 1 will go to the side of Execration.
You know what? Execration here just showing us how it's done. Blue Fire, they had something in mind. They really wanted to make it work, but sadly, it didn't really work into their favor. Execration showing us a 2-1-2. Is this their only understanding? We'll find out.
Well, all in day's work for the side here of Execration. Ladies and gentlemen, it is within our expectations. What is really good to highlight here, and I do hope Manjin would delve on this topic, is of the two cores. I love the fact that we have a Gusion. I love the fact that we have the YSS as well. This is a nice possibility. We're not saying this is an effective tactic that would work. It did work for now, but again, sample size. We need more sample size. But just for this moment, it is so fun to watch. It is so good to look at. We got two cores. Quite a bit far from the 131 that we're used to.
And seeing heroes like Gusion come back.
Yeah.
Karina even just debuting. For the longest time, we haven't seen a Karina even since season 1, since season 1.
Yeah.
But right now, there is a Karina pick that is said to be a good jungle role or jungle hero right now. So there are a lot of things to look forward to, and it's all about execution from these teams.
Yeah. And yeah, let's head into our solo analyst segment. Manjin.
Parang ang bilis ng game na yun, ha? Parang mas matagal pa yung naging pause actually of the game because that was so dominant for Execration. Tama, ang sinabi dito ng ating mga shoutcasters, lane dominance ang ginamit ng Team Execration dito to win. All I wanna say is that, man, Electro Flash is back para dito kay Benny Cutie, and actually tama ang sinabi ni Wolf. Interesting pick though on the Zask para dito kay Unseen, no? I think ang gusto sana nilang gawin dito was to really clear the waves, really actually push the waves, get the towers, but interesting opening here for the side of Execration. Rose Gold Meteor to counter the magic damage from the Chang'o and from everyone else. And then again, lane superiority. Kung narinig niyo yung word na yun, superiority, big words yun. No?
MPL still, the idea really is to win. The goal is to win, right? But of course, for our viewers, guys, you have a new patch. You know, it's really fun to learn. It's really fun to discover what are the changes. No need for a race. There's really no need for a race. I really don't think being first.
I don't think
again,
being
like
first
you said, right? It makes you right.
It doesn't make you right.
Yeah,
Claiming that you're first doesn't really have its merits.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, it's the hare and the tortoise.
Yeah.
Whoever goes first, you know, may be more complacent than the others,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
the slower ones might find something else.
Yes, there is a saying in Tagalog, but because I'm so good, I will translate it in English.
How will you
know?
translate it?
When someone who runs fast, whenever they get thorned, they will be thorned deep.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yes, that is true. So,
In Tagalog, ang tumakbo ng matulin kung matinik ay malalim.
yes,
right?
yes, that's true. That's true.
So-
You know what?
But yeah, anyway, guys, have fun.
Have fun.
Always have fun. in
Always try to
anything
have
that,
fun.
That you do, especially on this patch. Do not be really confused. Just read those patch and imagine the possibilities. That's where the fun lies.
If you're not that confident, don't get scared.
Yes.
Don't get scared. You
And just learn from others. Just
Yes.
try. You know, they said this, okay, try it. They said that, okay, try it. Right?
And if it works for you and you have fun with it, it's okay, because this happens with a lot of games as well. I hear a lot of people just saying that, oh, we're scared of the new patch. It's so big. Do not be scared. This is still the ML that you love.
Yes.
It's just that as time progresses, the game progresses as well.
Yeah.
And Munton really just wanted to give you a better experience
Yeah.
and to have a new perspective to the game. So appreciate the change, embrace it,
Yeah.
and make it your own.
Yeah. Have fun.
Have fun.
Right, so anyway, we got the Khalid, Natalia, and also the Hilda. Ban on the side of Execration. Selena would still be available, as the ban on Blue Fire would be of a Yuzong. That is a very nice ban, Kufra, and a Cho. Execration would prioritize on getting that YSS. I really feel that YSS should be a priority ban
Still,
right now.
still.
I think YSS should be a priority ban right now
Still.
for the meta,
Now-
just to be safe.
And now that there
And
is
they got Johet.
now that there is an idea of a jungler just roaming around or
Yeah.
a support roaming around,
Yeah.
getting information on that support wherever she's going or
Yes,
he's going
yes.
is imperative for a lot of these teams. So
Yes.
I think YSS is still a hot commodity.
And the reduction of the 131.
Yeah.
The slowing down of the 131 kind of makes YSS a bit safe. Because you don't expect 4 people to be jumping onto you. You can expect maybe a bit, 2, 1, right? Something like that. And of course, you have your guard on this. Right?
This is where I actually think that Forza is going to have a problem. Because sometimes when it's 1-3-1, you can see 4 people sticking together into one lane.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're a Farsa, where do you go? Do you go to the top lane? Do you go to the bot lane?
the
Because
side
there
lane.
is always a siege happening
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
in the map.
yes.
So you can't be omnipresent.
Yeah.
You can't be there always in one lane.
Yeah.
So if there is something happening to the top lane, then
Yeah.
probably someone is being proactive to the bottom lane and just pushing the waves.
Yes, and that's actually one of the weakness for against Farsa. You can actually try to make a play on a lane where Farsa is absent. Although Farsa has the wings by wings, I do agree with you, Butters. The potency of the vision provided by the Farsa may be reduced because Farsa is preferred back then because of the vision that she provides, especially when teams clump together, especially when they go together as a 4-man unit. Farsa provides a lot of defense for this. But on fights that are spread out and individual fights, I think that's where Farsa kind of becomes very vulnerable, especially on pick-up heroes.
Think about it. Will you use wings by wings to go to one lane? Because if that happens, then that means you don't have wings by wings to get out.
Back into,
To get out
Yeah.
if you're in trouble.
yeah.
So a lot of things really just popping out here.
Yeah, this might be a Farsa that will just be allowed to stay into the mid, same as how supports are being done here. Very interesting actually on the Loyi. I cannot but feel that Loyi is a hero that is nice to experiment around right now for the Project Next patch. I think, especially if you want to dive a lane. Yeah,
Everyone was thinking about a rival.
Yeah,
But then again, if you have a hero with an ultimate
that can
that
teleport
can
you,
teleport
the whole
you
team.
anywhere, it makes sense. Because back then, I mean, a certain patch in the Open Qualifier, someone did say that she is the best support. But then again, aside from the nuking power, what more can you get out of the ultimate? Because you don't really use it as much.
There is a very big
But
question for
right
that.
now, if you use it and you want to defend a lane, you can just pop your ultimate, get in a safe place, and just defend.
Indeed. Well, we get the Lunox here for the side of Execration, ladies and gentlemen. So, it's a possible side lane, honestly. Lunox. Oh!
It's back, ladies and gentlemen!
It's time for the main event. We are back onto Etomax. Leomore.
It's probably Etomax. It's probably sa Gitno. As
It's
far
possible.
as I have to say, sa Gitno's name was May before. And
Okay.
May is one of the best
Leomore
players in the Philippines.
Yeah, I think we have Etomax Loyi and we have Sagitnu on the. We got Sagitnu on the Leomore.
Funny.
Of course! Go for it! Why not? Well, it's already locked in, right? So, yeah.
They don't have there is Chakno there with a single target lock with unstoppable force in the ejector. But for Limbs here, if he is safe in terms of engaging, then it's probably gonna work on his side. But Leomord and Fanny coming out and joining the MPL fun.
Leomord Benecutie.
All right. I mean, yeah. I think Benny Cutie is capable of doing so as well.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
He's capable.
I mean, we're just basing it on our previous stats, guys. We got Etomax really playing Leomord. We also have Sagitnu playing Leomord.
But, I mean, having two skilled Leomord players, give it to the Leomord player.
Why
to
not
Benny
make it
Cutie.
3? Why not
Make it 3? I mean,
we have 2 Leomord players.
why not make it 3?
Make it 3.
Or probably give Chaknu a tank Leomord as well.
Yeah. So you have 5.
You
I have 4.
You have 4. Then
Then
hate probably
yeah,
you get 5 Leomord players.
Why not?
What's
Why not?
better than 4?
Yeah,
Make it
Make
5.
it 5. Quick match, it's inspired by Imagine there. Man, I think everything got wiped off the table, same as everything got wiped off when the Project Next patch was introduced. We have a Fanny here. I have no idea where is that coming from, but I have no complaints.
I have no complaints as
totally
well.
no complaints for this game.
And you know what? We didn't really talk about the Terizla.
Yeah.
I mean, Terizla
Terizla is okay to greet the Loyi.
was balanced.
Yeah.
A very balanced hero right now.
Yeah.
His current passive was taken to the previous one, that season 3 Terizla pick that they were doing. It was reverted back to that certain spot where he was deemed to be one of the most OP heroes and tankiest heroes in the game. But the thing is, his damage output in terms of minions is decreased to only 75%.
Yeah.
One of his skills, yeah.
Yeah, one of his skills. So there is a good attention that is given towards the Terizla right now. Although there are a lot of changes actually for heroes, and we're yet to actually see our revamped heroes in MPL, and I'm actually looking forward into seeing that, especially next week. I think next week they're already allowed, right? But yeah, with this kind of lineup, my side lane on the Leomord, I think Leomord EXP lane. You still have YSS. Oh no, sorry.
This is probably
What do you think? YSS jungle? It's possible.
yeah, it's a possibility. It's a
YSS jungle,
possibility.
yeah.
Now
I think YSS jungle.
I
Leomord
think-
side lane still.
I think it's going to be Yi Sun Shin and Lunox in one lane. They're just gonna poke the hell out of the enemy, the one just staying there, and that only
I'm
means
curious. I think between the two, because you have two side laners, you get Lunox and also Leomord. So I think EXP lane Lunox. Gold lane Leomord. I
Or-
mean, Leomord kind of benefits on the level 4.
Or-
Very possible, but
they
I'm
could
just-
revert to 1-3-1.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibility for that
There's
draft.
a lot of
There's a lot of
possibility.
possibility for that draft because the thing here is there's kind of a blurred line whose ultimate is more valuable, whether it is Lunox or Leomord. But if I'm thinking about it, I think I would just go for the Leomord EXP lane.
Yeah.
I think
Safe.
Barbiel is really impactful. That's a very big power spike for Lunox once Barbiel is already online compared to the Lunox shifting forms, right?
So execution here,
Yeah.
surprising us, and I want to talk about the Fanny. I think the Fanny here pick here for the side
What?
of Blue Fire. It's
There's no I think there's no reason.
I don't really think that there's a reason, but in terms of the catch here for the side of execution, they only have one.
Yeah.
So I think as long as you don't have anything to lock down
Alright.
limbs, it makes sense.
All right, so there we go. My vote was wrong. We get the Leomord on the gold lane. We have the Lunox on the experience lane. And here's a fun fact: we have Hate also joining the experience lane.
So yeah, and it's going to be Sagitnu and Hate in one lane, and they're just gonna poke the hell out of the enemy team. And the enemy hero
Oh!
onto this lane. Oh,
Nice jump by
Oh, wow.
Secret. That was very quick against Heto Max. All right, and that's the blue buff onto limbs. Okay, but that
So-
is gonna be the lane.
so what they did was, after that XP lane, Hate goes to level 2, he gets the Lethal Wanderer, and he heads straight for that purple buff. So that's the certain rotations that the enemy team, that the teams are doing here. If you get a carry fighter or a carry side laner, you would put the marksman onto the XP lane, then just get his levels.
And look at this. So what Chakno is doing is just going for the reset, right? A disruption towards Limbs that force actually Limbs to get his recall. He does understand that the Fanny has nice capability of returning to his own buff. So what Chakno is now doing is he's trying to get some attention by visiting again the orange buff. But yeah, that is the first of the early small leads here by Execration. Another goes sa Gitno. Chakno dancing around against Limbs. All right.
And Eto Max here, getting the level 4, and they will. And this is Hate. Just
Of course.
they're flexing, and
Of
right
course.
now they are making money. Make it rain.
And look at that. Benikity doesn't even need to use the barbell. Still has the green dot on the moment that Hate actually visited that lane. Guys, that is very important.
And
that gold lane gank. That's a lot of gold now for Hate. That's where the biggest lead will happen.
And look at the gold. It's 1K up here for the side of Execration. It's 1-1.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, that's 1.4K gold given to the side of Execration just because of that one sequence that Execration did. Wow, that's really high, and Sagitno here is getting a fair share as well.
Yeah, of gold. That's how it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, no surprise, by the 4-minute mark, I'll be seeing an early item here for Hate. But Hate is eyeing actually the late game here by choosing the killing spree, and Chaknu, you know, is being impactful. That's totally okay. He did throw limbs out, and that's all he need. That's all he need. He just needs to disrupt continually. The Mounting Chakra gets casted. There is a kill though done by the Luno, if I'm not mistaken. There's gonna be Chaknu, goes for the unstoppable force towards
And
Fuzuken.
Chaknu got
the buff. That's how it's done. Puts in the logo of the Onyx here.
Oh
And,
no.
yeah, that's Etamax also following through. Doesn't matter. Even with the death on Etamax, that's a lot of pressure there by Execration. And lots of freedom for Hate. And Benikitty also farming in. And guys, that's the final minion. That's the final artillery. Gold artillery gold. That's the final artillery gold that we'll be seeing on the gold lane. So that's a 340 mark, guys. And yeah, all lead on Execration. 2K.
Yeah, and Sagitno here getting chased down, doesn't have the mana, but Hate is here. And that arrow will connect. You know what? I really like the idea of Yi Sun-shin being the jungler. Because in terms of rotation, he has good range.
Just look at that. Ladies
my.
and gentlemen, what Benikitty decided to go for is a very early, instead of the Bloodlust Axe, he went for a very early Blade of Despair on his way to actually building it. He got the 2 Legion swords already up, and I think Raptor Machado and a physical attack dagger is present also towards Hate. It can't be denied though that Benikitty will be getting more gold. Or maybe something, I'm not so sure yet. We want to revisit that. But it will be no surprise if Benikitty really has an accelerated gold. He is in the gold lane and he is winning.
It makes no sense if Benikitty on the Leomord goes for the
Bloodlust
axe. Because the thing is, if you think about it, the other team is banking on sustain. So if you're gonna out-sustain a Thams, if you're gonna out-sustain a Uranus, it won't make sense because technically they are better sustained heroes than you. Yeah. So if you're
compared to
gonna
the item sustain,
if you're gonna bandage it with a Bloodlust Axe and think that it's gonna make sense for you, then it's not really, it's not really going to favor your side. But if you think about it, if you go for a Blade of Despair, they don't have their core items. When you step on them with Barbiel, the Phantom Steed, whatever regeneration there is, it's gonna take a heavy chunk out of their HP. And it could take them to 30%, where Leomord shines more.
Yeah. And my man, it's a bit slow and a bit less obvious compared to our game number 1, but Execration has another unique composition that made it work here for our game number 2 against Blue Fire, even with this technical pause, guys. I think it's kind of set already for them. We have returned, guys.
And look at this, 2 rockets.
I was thinking if the damage would be enough. I honestly thought it might be an execute or it might be a finisher for the Fanny, but
Probably at 4.
Probably at 4.
Probably at 4 rockets, it could make sense. But here is where invades matter, to be honest.
And there's retribution, so there's really no chance of Chu denying that. And
look at Louis just staying into the mid lane. And you know what? What I'm actually surprised about here is you put a Louis into the middle lane. Sheila doesn't have the certain mobility secret here. Is in between the crossfire here of 3 heroes of Execration, and he won't really live. But putting a Louis into the middle lane, he doesn't have that certain amount of mobility, But the thing is, they made it work again.
And it's a very defensive hero. Yeah. The Loyi. You just put your first skill here. You just put your dispersion, and you could have a lane that you can steadily shove and clear. And Unseen is just dancing around. He's not fully backing. That's very risky for him if Benikitty decides to go. Good thing the Barbell is already down for that side. Curse of Crow Energy Impact not gonna be connecting, and of course with that, Execution would just retreat by a bit just so they can take this turtle, guys. Guys, the lead is too much. Get 6k here. Legion Sword 2 onto the side here of Hate. Also a kill. No, actually the turtle secured for him. And you know, even the Mounting Shocker would hurt a lot against the side of Blue Fire here. The only built item that I'm seeing would be of a Queen's Wings and of course a Clock of Destiny for Blue Fire.
But hey, you know what? Execration here, they are making things work onto their side. And I saw that there is an enchanted talisman for Louis here. Mana regeneration is going to be on point, but look at this.
Yeah. And there is the ult from Puzakin. Oh my god!
It just stopped them on their tracks.
I mean, there's the ult on the ground by Puzak, and it's a bit late actually. I'm not sure what happened there, but you know, it is what it is. You know, killing spree.
You know what? It's counterintuitive to actually use wings by wings to get into an area here for Unseen. Because the thing is, once they see Unseen in another lane, the other lanes go, and the side lanes that there is an access of the Farsa in terms of feathered airstrike is just gonna back off.
Yeah.
So it's not really working right now. The fights aren't really focused into one lane as our previous meta does. But now we can see that there is going to be a bit of a dilemma in terms of just picking that Farsa.
Yeah, and we are now here onto the last turret outside the base here of Blue Fire. Teleport. Actually, diversion coming in from the Loyi. Followed up with that Mounting Shocker, not gonna be bought here by the Blue Fire. And I think this is gonna be very difficult. All you need is to just have Chakno go in. This is a bit slower compared to the Kufra. Totally understandable. You're using the Jawhead, but Jawhead has higher pressure.
If you think about it, Limbs is only at level 6. And that's because Chakno isn't giving him anything free.
Yeah.
It takes a Fanny to use all of his energy on Chaknu just to get something. So that means he's forced to always go out.
Man, 9k on the gold lead here for the side of Execration. Even Hate here can easily solo a turtle without having to worry for anything. I'm actually... of course, this is Blue Fire. We are still watching. This is a Blue Fire match. We are still watching, but I wouldn't be surprised that really a team which comes prepared, even by just a margin against another team, and totally understand one mechanic of the next patch against their opponent. I think it could lead to one-sided series really, one-sided matches really, because you can drafting and of course laning is as close to a checkmate. You can already set up a checkmate just by leaning and just drafting alone.
And look at the nuke coming out here from Louis, and this is pressure on all sides of the map. Blue Fire, they are defending. They're trying to fight this, but look at Limbs with a few slashes and a few hits of an arrow. He's forced to go back.
Yeah. Wow, they need to go steady here. Sagitno, kiting back. There is a very beautiful ejector there against a Secret delivered towards Sagitno.
Okay.
Alright, there is one killed. But of course, Benecutie will be cleaning up. Demon Hunter Sword already available here for Hate, and they will follow through. The next one would be of Puzakin. Pushback done in by Benecutie. They're gonna be Cho. And under the feathered airstrike, Etamax will fall down. There goes Limbs. And Limbs will walk away.
And oh man, this is really just hard for the side of Blue Fire.
Yeah.
They cannot do anything at this point. Well, it takes a couple of mistakes for Execration for them to actually come back from this. But at this point, a team of a caliber like Execration, they won't really back down. And look at this going in.
Yeah, very good flicker there.
Benecutie.
Yeah, very good flicker there actually by Unseen. Especially the quick initiate by Benecutie. He's just baiting Secret here. Maybe just establish pressure there, but at least we get a 10-minute mark. And I can feel a nice stall there by Blue Fire. Unseen is doing quite a good job in clearing the waves, defending properly, using the Farsa, just using the safe distance that the Feathered Airstrike provides for Farsa.
You know what? One of the things that I've noticed is if you have a good jungle rotation or a good jungle pattern into just getting the minions or the monsters, you can probably go solo Lord at 10 minutes.
It is possible. I would agree.
Yeah. And
A solo lord, yeah.
a solo Lord isn't that far-fetched at
Yeah.
this point because you know what? It's MLBB.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Butters, we have a lot of gold in the early game. We have a lot of resources in the early game, and lots of resources in the early game could actually provide a lot of scaling for scaling heroes. And interestingly, Hate didn't focus under the turret here. Still, no inhibitor turret will be knocked down against Blue Fire.
And look at Chaknu here. Wherever Limbs is, I am there as well.
Yeah.
He's not letting Limbs go out. It's like a master. It's like a dog on a leash. He's not letting it go.
Yeah, especially, and the interesting part here is it's the dog that is actually catching the... It's the Fanny that looks like a dog here on the leash, but let us see. The turret is still alive. Finally, Hate decides to go for it. It just only takes one hit to finish it. And yeah, inhibitor turret is down for that part. But still, the game is up and available for Blue Fire. But it's only a matter of time. Another diver by Benekti cancels out the feathered airstrike. Chaknu fully commits. He gets stopped by most of the members of Blue Fire. It doesn't stop him from killing Unseen though. And yeah, now that gives freedom for Hate again to target his second inhibitor turret down in the mid. They go for that top lane side. Benekti now will be going back into his normal form as the Barbiel will expire. There is going to be Sagitnu stay into the front line. Chaos Darkening will be casted. Paid away actually. And now he has his Brilliance on. It's going to be Limbs missing some of the cables, ladies and gentlemen. But the moment it goes in towards Sagitnu, Sagitnu will be casting that Order of Brilliance. And yeah, that's it.
I'm actually
Yeah.
seeing Sagitnu with a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
That Sagitnu's meta was actually the carry side lane. Where you have all the time in the world to get farm for your side lane. It doesn't matter if you have 2 cores
And scale, right?
and scale.
To-
So I think with 2 very strong cores, or 3 strong cores from the side of Execration, they can make this work on their favor.
Yeah. And Fanning is a very difficult hero to be utilized. Oh my god, a full combo here done by the members of Execration. This is the explosiveness that we are waiting for. Even in this one-sided game, layered with everything from Hate's Mountain Shocker to Benny Curie's Barbiel. I think that might be it. We get some minion wave still. Fuzaken and also Chu is still alive. Etomax will be going back. He does have his ultimate on. He can easily teleport in and diversion onto the base here of Blue Fire. TPs are also coming in. Wave clear onto Benny Curie. Hate is also kiting back. Chu is just dancing around. And Limbs is gonna be there. Again, I just want to go back to my point that the Fanny is really not an easy hero here to be utilized ever since, you know, at the start of Mobile Legends. She is like a hero that invites challenge to a lot of players. And yeah, I mean, we are seeing here, even though there is some good performance there on the Fanny, and it takes a lot of mastery actually to get it to this level, I think Limbs needs some improvement still on the cable work. On the cable work of that Fanny, because we're seeing some missed cables for that part. There goes Chakno, they go for the dive. Chu into the front line, flicker in, no ejector, and there goes Limbs. He wants to get into the base of the other team. He gets chased down by Benekri along with Hate. And I think that's it. Already one skill unlocked for Hate here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's still an artillery minion. Etomax also going to be receiving some damage from the Blue Fire's defense squad. Remember that it's only just 4 members alive. Benekuri in critical health. Chakno also goes for the dive. Barbiel is still online for Benekuri, but of course, onto the side there goes Chu. He wants to target him. He wants to target Benekuri. They go for the wave clear. They're just dancing around. There goes Chakno onto the side, and Blue Fire tries to maintain composure. Benekuri flickers in, wants to make an explosive pick, and he has done so, and that is it. 2-0. Ladies and gentlemen, for the side of Execration.
Execration here just showing us that their understanding in terms of the game being annoying and just exerting, just flexing that map control that they have. They make it work on their side, and goodness gracious, it's a 2-0.
I'm just happy that we see, even if we see 2-0s here, even if this is totally within expectations against Blue Fire, I'm just happy that we see something different. We see something unique, and that is mainly from the side of Execration. The best part is, you know, seeing something unique and you see it work.
Yeah.
You know, we have a side lane Lunox, we have a Leomord getting reintroduced, we have the YSS being played not just in the jungle position, but also on the gold lane.
Yeah.
golding position.
Whatever Execration did there was self-explanatory. You saw that as well. It was an open book. It was a storybook for kids that everyone can actually read and understand. Then again, you can do that too. See, this is what we were telling you about, that the new patch isn't really daunting. As long as you put a bit of, creativity, imagination, and all those stuff, you can really make it work. And that was actually a good strategy from Execration.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-1-2. And even us, we think that we can do that for our certain games that will happen in the
Yeah.
near future.
And I think it follows through with what we are advising. It's fun. It's
It's fun.
Watching it is fun. Casting it is fun. I would dare say even playing it might be fun as well.
Yeah.
Execration, from the looks of it, they actually had fun in doing that. But it takes more than that to actually fully conclude what the Project Next patch is. I would dare say even the Bren, ending the winning streak of Bren done in by Omega, it's not enough to really conclude the Project Next patch. Even this one is not enough yet to conclude the Project Next patch. I'm not so sure if the whole week, until Sunday is enough to actually conclude what we can say about the Project Next patch. Anyway, guys, that's it for our time. It has been an honor to shoutcast for these games, guys. We're gonna be passing it on to our resident analyst, Manjin.
Creation. Direct, may analysis? Oh, okay, may analysis. May analysis pa pala. Sorry, Direct. Tinanggal ko na yung code ko eh. Blue Fire, guys. Yes, sabi nga dito ni na Wolf. Hawakan na lang natin. Sabi nga dito ni na Wolf, kaya pa nilang mag-survive. But then again, sobrang miracle na yung kailangan nila. Isang napakalaking himala yung kailangan nila. Looking at the items right now, guys. Tignan natin. Aray. Yeah, uwing-uwi na talaga, no? Joke lang. 7-0-4 si Hate. Total dominance even though nagkaroon ng first blood, no? Even though nagkaroon ng first blood dito ang Blue Fire. Let's look at the funny stat. Mukhang sinabi na lang ng Blue Fire dito sa kanilang last game na, sige, i-funny mo na. Tapusin na natin ang laban. Sige, gano'n na lang. Nothing to win, nothing to lose. Attitude na lang ang ginawa dito ng team ng Blue Fire. Then again, they're up against a team na kailangan ng sobrang daming puntos para makabalik sa ating laban. And man, Execration showed us something else, especially highlighting this player, Chaknu, on the jaw head. There you go. That jaw head, Chaknu, no? I think there's an heavy emphasis on the buffs na kukunat kapag maraming umaatake. So going on to our post-game stats, Chaknu, ladies and gentlemen, 2 times niyang tinanggalan ng buffs si Lims dito. Umabot na sa point na boom, 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 pow. 0 ang naging tower damage ng Team Blue Fire, and it was a total love set. Kung naglalaro kayo ng billiards at ng pool, gets nyo yon. Wala silang nakuhang kahit anong objective on that game. Sige, isang orange buff, 2 purple buff. Then again, after nung pangalawang kuha ni Chaknu dito ng purple buff, it all went down para sa team ng Blue Fire. Nawala na sila ng pag-asa. Looking into the smart highlights of the game, syempre, I think pwede natin makita dyan yung mga ginawa ni Chaknu mismo na space created para syempre kay Leomord. Ito yon. Boom. I think saktong tinimingan na nga lang ni Chaknu yung kanyang ejector. Makikita mo kasi yan kapag bumuelo na yung jawhead dito, makikita mo na talagang mag-e-ejector na siya, and I think alam ni na Lims yun. Unfortunately, hindi pa enough yung damage ng kanyang retribution. Lims was at level 4 up until the 5-minute mark. And his enemies ay umaabot na ng level 7, level 8. Ganoon ka-dominant ang Team Execration on this game, on this season, Shin. And wow, Luyi, I think this is the first time na may nakita tayong Luyi, or probably the third time. Basta hindi natin siya masyadong nakikitang umaksyon, pero pinakita siya ng Execration. This time, I think nagkakaroon lang yung execration actually ng mga plays na talagang nagiging agresibo na sila kasi alam na nila yung kung gaano kalakas yung items nila. Unfortunately, for Team Blue Fire, kulang yung item power spike nila, kulang yung kalakasan nila to make an outplay. And now for our smart MVP, makikita natin, siya ay walang iba kundi syempre si Hate, no? Yishon Shin, 7, magmamatay ulit 7 minutes in. 7 minutes in, Hate was at level 12. And then, Limbs ay level 6. Level 6, man. Pag minainos mo yan, 6. Ang bilis. Wala pa 0.0 seconds na solve ko yung math na yon, no? 6 levels ahead si Hate against the hyper carry hero. Of course, with 98,000 gold, 704, napakabilis, napaka-aga. I really think na, si Chakno, I think, ang pwedeng MVP on that game. Pero syempre, with a given record and with the KDAs, it's still Hate. So Hate just proving himself to still be one of the great carries of the tournament na aabangan nating lahat. Syempre, ang interesting kasi dito, Execration now aangat ng 3 points, no? On Group A, so ang naglalaban sa points right now is Omega, Exe, and Bren, no? I think NXP, kailangan pa nila ng 2 games para makapasok doon. Wow. By the way, hindi pa pala tuloy ang OE dahil meron pa tayong interview portion. Atin ang kausapin ang walang iba, the captain of Execration, Ito Max, man. Congratulations sa 2-0. Una sa lahat. Hello, man.
Thank you, Sir Manjin.
Yon, man. Interesting na ikaw na ang naging team captain ngayon ng Execration. Kahapon, actually, hello, Shaknu. Yan. Kahapon, hindi pala kahapon. Nung nakarang araw, nagkaroon ng big patch yung MPL. Bilang captain dito ng Execration, paano nyo na-formulate yung strategy nyo for today? Anong na-experience nyo dito sa bagong patch?
Actually, nung paglabas nung bagong patch, naglaro lang kami na naglaro. Naglaro lang kami na naglaro para malaman kung ano ba yung mga pwedeng adjustment na gawin namin. So, hindi lang din naman ako, bilang captain, hindi lang din ako nag-isip nun. Siyempre, tulungan naman kami lahat dito. Lalo na
may smoke effects, may smoke effects.
Sapno, yan. Ayun. Kumbaga, tulungan kami lahat dito kahit yung mga hindi nyo nakikita sa camera, syempre tumutulong din sila.
So
sa lahat.
Total team effort, no? Nag-brainstorm kayo para doon sa buong meta na ginawa ninyo. Anong idea na actually paano nyo na nalaman na na tong mid-mage tapos dalawa yung baba Parang sino yung nagsabi nun? Paano nyo na formulate yun?
Kasi 'di ba since yung mga side lanes kasi ngayon parang sobrang laki na ng pera na nabibigay
Oo.
Yun kasi yung sobrang ganda na ng kumbaga every role may kayang magkapera. So hindi na katulad dati na may panel strat na kanya kukunin nila. Pero yung mga side lanes kasi ngayon sobrang laki na ng pera. So kahit magstay lang sila sa sa lane nila is marami silang makukuha ang gold. Yun.
Talagang utilizing the laning phase para kay Kuya Eto Max. Men, again, congratulations. Congratulations. Pangatlo ata kayo ngayon sa standings. Anong masasabi mo sa mga future na makakalaban mo ngayong MPL? Sa mga teams na makakalaban nyo?
Thank you sa lahat ng sa mga kalaban ba namin?
Oo, mga kalaban nyo. NXP, mga kalaban nyo. October 2
Oo nga pala. NXP yun. So, sa NXP, excited na rin kami syempre since bagong patch. Syempre, marami ring utak doon panigurado. So, magbubungguan na naman ng mga bagong meta yun. Pakitaan ulit natin ng magandang series yung mga manonood dyan. Abangan nyo.
Bait na. Bait na, Kuya Eto Max. Okay, Kuya Eto Max. Final shoutouts and saan ka namin makikita, no? Promote mo yung mga pages mo.
Okay. shoutout nga pala, syempre, una-una thank you rin kay God sa binigay na panalo sa amin. Tsaka sa mga boss namin, kala Boss Arvin, sa humahawak ng execution, kala Makay, sa mga tumutulong din sa amin, kala Billy, kala Pakbet, kala Hito. Yan. Tsaka thank you sa lahat ng fans na sumuporta kahit na lost streak kami noong nakaraan. Yun. Babawi tayo ngayon. Babawi.
Babawi ang execration coming from the captain of Itomax, of execration Itomax. Congratulations muli sa inyong team.
Ay, Manjin.
Oh,
Shoutout lang pala. Ay, nakalimutan ko sa girlfriend ko pala.
sige, shoutout mo. Batiin mo, tol.
Shoutout sa girlfriend ko.
Sino?
Si Kat.
Ayos. Ayan, binabati ka ni Itomax, mahal na mahal ganyan. And again, congratulations, Team Execration sa 3 points. Congrats, Itomax. Kita-kits sa susunod.
Ay, thank you.
Alright, guys. That has been it. Time check. Maaga pa rin ang uwian. Ayan, 9:53 sa aking Realme Watch. Wow. Ayan, syempre, ating tignan ang current standings ng ating tournament para syempre sa updated standings ng ating tournament. Umangat ang Execration, of course, now having 14 points, tied with Blacklist International. Meanwhile, you have Omega right now na pangalawa pa din, no? Even though they won earlier, same ang naging standings natin for today. Still, ang kailangan nating tignan dito, I think, is Group B. Kasi kung Group A, I think sobrang clear na kung sino yung apat, no? Parang 80% na kung naniniwala na yung apat na yan. Make that 95% pala. Yung apat na upper teams ang papasok sa playoffs. And Group B, malayo-layo pa ang kanilang lalakbayin. BSB, Signal Ultra, and Onyx PH naglalaban doon sa 4th slot. So with this guys, I hope na sana nag-enjoy kayo for today, and I really hope na manood din kayo bukas kasi nga para sa ating mga schedule for tomorrow, nandiyan ay ang Omega versus Signal Ultra, interesting match, no, para sa 4th slot. Blacklist versus Aura, interesting match din. Aura nangunguna dito, but kung manalo ang Blacklist, pwede silang umangat ng 1 puntos. Siyempre, nandiyan na rin ang Onyx versus BSB. Much needed win for BSB and much needed win din para sa Onyx PH. Magkita-kita tayo, guys, 6 p.m. Nandyan din yan, diba? So, by the way, bago ako magbabay ulit, nandito